what's your take on like, do you see it being something that like athletes would, because you don't have to be enhanced.
Yeah, exactly.
Like athletes, someone like yourself would be like, if cycling was in there, well, I'll compete because there's a salary.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it something you consider?
It's hard to say because the camera's on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, James Magnussen, $1 million to break a record. That's pretty hard to turn down.
True.
And once your career's done, your career's done, really. So in 10 years' time, if it was still going, if it did take off, and it'd be hard to turn down that if I could organize it to like 250 to break that 250 meter record. But I've already got it as a non-enhanced person, so
you're like, you need to come for me. I don't need to come for you.
Right. Other people can try break my record or something.
Yeah.
I can go for it. But yeah, it's definitely a weird one because everyone has their different opinions on it. Like, oh, you're a drug cheat, this and that, but you're not actually competing in normal sport.
Yeah, as long as you don't then go back after.
Yeah,
probably
exactly
the argument,
right.
Like,
yeah, you could never go back. It's definitely for your twilight of your career. Once your career would be fully done, but then also as well, you're not at your prime as well. So it's just hard. In a perfect world, you could get Usain Bolt in his prime and get him juiced. And see where he goes. But in a perfect world, you can't do that. So it's this catch-22 of you're never actually going to quite see the best of the best do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to compare times. I'm sure everyone's excited to compare times between this and that and see what's better, who's better at the Olympics, this and that. Like, it's going to be a big thing. When is it again?
I think they're aiming for early next year.
Yeah, correct.
Or late next year.
In America, is that where they're going to do it?
I haven't seen anything on confirmation. I'd assume so.
I think on the JRE thing, they were talking about just doing it in America.
Yeah, it's probably the best place to do it if you're going to do it as well.
They love it over there more 100%. Than anywhere else, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think it's just also that acceptance that it's like, I think they even say it, the co-founders, they're like, we're not trying to be the Olympics.
Yeah, correct.
We're putting on something else, and if you want to be involved, you can be involved.
It's a spectacle, and it's entertainment.
Exactly.
And if people are going to watch it, then people are going to watch it. Like, it's going to be big. So good on them, really. Like, something different.
Well, that's it. Like, and hopefully then that just puts maybe a bit of pressure, say, on the IOC to be like, or if they feel like they're losing some athletes to it, to be like, maybe we should just, I don't know, every athlete gets 10 grand or something. It doesn't have to be like, $100,000 or whatever it is, but like a salary that allows them to, just survive a little easier.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, Olympics being only once every 4 years as well, that's hard enough in itself. Like, if you're only being able to put yourself on this big stage every 4 years, I think they're aiming to do enhanced games every year. So that gives you the platform more often for sponsors and things like that, which probably sponsorship may get harder if you're on steroids and shit. So, I don't know, it's messy, but I think it will be interesting.
There's a lot of moving parts, hey? Like, everything.
Do you know of anyone that's like openly said they're interested in competing?
No, not in track cycling. No.
Yeah, because I think, what do they say? Maybe track and field, swimming, combat sports, which would be...
Yeah, they said maybe like a wrestling or something, or like a combat
Definitely
sports.
MMA and boxing, I think.
Yeah.
And I think they're considering the others. But I think to them, they're like, it's a business. It would depend on if we get enough views on those things as well.
Definitely. And that's popular sports.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, MMA, massive, UFC, bang. Definitely. But it'd be, whether guys they have to break away from the UFC to do that and all those sort of things. So I think it'd be interesting. But I think, they claim 44% of athletes
from that survey.
What is it? Like, they've taken performance enhancing steroids?
Which is ridiculous. Hey,
like, I
can't, it's a mind boggling stat. And for me, if it is true, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm better than people 44%.
Exactly.
That's almost half the field that would be juice. And for me, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm completely natural, and I'm beating these people. Like,
that's a pretty cool
That's
feeling,
like a good thing. But at the same time, 44% is a mind-boggling stat. Like, almost half of Olympic athletes have admitted to it.
Yeah.
I don't know where they get that from, because I feel like they wouldn't admit to it. It's a weird
if it's anonymous,
thing.
I feel like wouldn't. You need some good, I'd block your IP, have a VPN to that.
I almost can't believe the stat. I don't know where they've got it from, but I
don't know whether it's
a crazy stat, definitely.
I wonder if their breakdown is that medalist or non-medalist.
Yeah, or retired athletes maybe would be open to saying that. But they said current.
You'd get your medal strips still.
Yeah, exactly right.
If you admitted to.
Yeah, it's a weird one, definitely.
Yeah, so then I go like, okay, how much is that stat true?
Yeah.
Like, take it with a grain of salt sort of thing. Yeah. Like, I don't know. And I like to believe that I know people are definitely on stuff, but I like to believe that give people benefit of the doubt.
Exactly.
They're an insane athlete. They put in the work until proven guilty.
Yeah, definitely.
You're an athlete that's done really well. Has there been anyone in track cycling that you know of that has been busted?
Yeah. So the biggest one in recent time was 2018 or 19. One of a Kieran world champion who's Colombian tested positive 6 months after and got a 4-year ban, and he's just come back as well, and he's terrible. Okay. But yeah, it's funny because he's been stripped of that world championship title, as you should, and he's still got it in his Instagram bio, world champion. And it's just like,
let's get some fact checkers.
Man, come on, bro. Like, delusional. And I think there's definitely some countries in the past, Russians, who we don't know in track cycling, because obviously that whole Icarus thing, the track and field, swimming, they all popped and were sanctioned. Russians, it's hard to say, but none of them technically popped in track cycling. They were innocent. If they were just within that country and just so happened, they're just doing their thing. And, athletics had popped. But at the same time, I would probably believe it's every sport.
Yeah, you're like, did they really choose just track, not cycling, to not do it?
Exactly. It's definitely, it's a hard one, definitely. Yeah. And with that as well, your Eastern sort of European countries, we've got wider worldwide that sort of tests us. Like, I get bloods and urine tested probably say twice a month. Like,
wow.
Yeah, on the lead up for Olympics quite a lot. Like probably there was a period there I got tested twice in 2 weeks.
Shit.
Like, so I'm on a whereabouts system. So if I have an overnight address, I have to put that on my app and they can come test me there. So, girlfriend's house, holiday, anywhere I go overseas, I've got to put in my whereabouts so they can test me. But I hope they're doing that in China.
That's it.
Yeah. It's a hard. I feel like Aussie sport is definitely probably one of the most clean in the world. So yeah, countries like China, Russia, who've had this tarnished sort of record, it is hard to give them the benefit of a doubt, and people definitely are happy to, the guy that bet Kyle Chalmers, everyone's happy to rip him down because he's from China. If he was a phenomenal athlete and won on the day, good on him. But at the same time, if he wasn't, then it's a hard one because the Chinese athletes, they give him guilty until proven innocent. And how do you prove your innocence, basically? Like, it takes time of, all these tests and winning more and stuff. It's a complex issue, but the most we can do is just focus on ourselves. And
exactly.
It is hard to, look at those countries who test positive quite often and go, fuck, we're racing against China against this thing and stuff.
And that's the hard thing as well, because you may be sat there, say in the call room, or you're next to someone like you're about to start your race, you look across and they are from one of these countries that are known for it.
Yeah.
And you doubt it, but they're sitting there potentially going, it's not me.
Yeah, exactly.
And so then you're kind of like, I feel bad, I can't help that thought either.
You're in two minds, basically. Yeah. You can't help but think, oh, you fucking dopers and this and
exactly.
that. But at the same time, you're like, man, that would feel pretty shit if you were from that country and you're clean your whole career and you've just got this black cloud just following you around of you. Yeah, it's definitely complex.
Head over to Jordan Checker Podcast to get the full exclusive experience.